So send us your inductees. For that, we're going to be talking to Mama Stark. Mama Stark, do-do-do-do-do-do. Mama Stark, do-do-do-do-do-do. Heyo! Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Brotherhood Without Manners, your favorite full spoiler reread podcast of George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series, reading a classic kings. As always, I'm your host, Zach, sitting here next to me, still in his work attire, Nate.
I just realized that I'm still dressed for my work
Yeah,
clothes.
You still got your tie on and everything.
Fuck, I'm taking my tie. So, sorry, I'm going to take my tie off.
Oh,
because I just realized that I have my
Welcome
tie
to
on.
After Hours Tie Removed with Nate.
Jesus, undo my collar. Like,
oh, shit.
what?
If you've joined us before, thank you for coming back. If you haven't, we are full spoiler. We'll ruin everything for you. Shit gets wild.
Like, as wild as me taking off my tie and unbuttoning my shirt.
Yeah.
I stopped unbuttoning my shirt.
Pretty wild.
That was pretty crazy. I can't believe how loose that feels. That's so...
Stop.
It's nice to relax a little after work, and I was so relaxed that I forgot to take my freaking clothes off. My work clothes off. If you joined us last time, we were reading Theon. Fuck Theon. He's a fucking jackass.
Theon was pillaging the Stony Shore.
Yeah, he had Benfred Tallheart killed. Whatever. But Benfred, which I still feel like that's two fucking names right there. Benfred. He can't be Benfred and Tallheart. Benfred Tallheart. That's 4 fucking names. Fuck that guy.
Well, he's dead.
Yeah, not by Theon's hands, because he couldn't do it himself. He was drowned, given to the old gods, the drowned gods, and Theon refused to pillage. He was torn between the Stark and the Greyjoys' ways of life, which are very similar in their...
And decides to choose neither.
Yeah, and then goes to a badass hiding in the shadows, Dagmar Cleftjaw, who surprised me with how much I like that guy. For now,
hiding in the shadows,
because he's just this minor character I've never paid attention to.
Well, he's not creeping.
Not like Peter Baelish creeping, but he could probably sneak around some towns at night, and I don't know. That's what roguelike Barb. He's like a swashbuckler. He's fucking cool. I like this dude. Anyway, Theon laid out the plan for taking Winterfell, and seems like Dagmar might be on board to try it out. We, as rereaders, know they try it out.
They try it.
And this episode, we are reading Arya. Arya, last we saw her, is in the same place, Harrenhal, doing the same thing, giving names.
I mean...
Yeah, well, there's a little more to it.
Giving names? Is Theon giving names?
No, Arya's last chapter.
You're saying it's a similar... Yeah.
Yeah,
I get you. Yeah, we're reading Arya 8, since Nate didn't decide to say the number.
Oh, yeah.
Arya 8. Last we read Arya 7. She had met up with Jaqen Haghar, and he had said that you saved me and the other 2 dipshits I was with, and therefore stole 3 lives from the Red God, and those debts must be paid. So whisper 3 names, and that's it. 3 names, and we're done. And Arya gave this some thought, and eventually, upon hearing a story of him having been a part of a group that raped a tavern owner's daughter, and then beat the tavern owner, and then the Mountain himself raping her and cleaving her in half, Arya decided to name Chiswick first, and Jaqen Haghar very quickly dispatched with Chiswick.
Fuck Chiswick.
And Arya kind of was enthralled by the power she now held of killing men with but a whisper.
She called herself the Ghost of Harrenhal.
And so we pick up, Arya is still at Harrenhal, but Harrenhal is a busy, busy place right now.
Yeah,
it's all clangor and confusion.
Yeah, there's all sorts of action. I put that it exploded with action, but I decided that the way I had initially planned on saying it would have made it sound like it was being attacked by dragons again. But no, that's not the case.
Tywin Lannister is marching at last. At last, Tywin Lannister's on the march.
Yeah, so basically people are preparing for battle and prepping to march. They're having their armors mended and cloaks fixed and washed, and they're saddling and setting up the horses, grooming the horses, shit like that. And it's crazy. And Arya's just kind of doing her duty.
We learned Sir Adam Marbrand was
Yeah.
one of the first of the captains to depart, and he made a gallant show of it, all gleaming armor and spectacular horse.
Fun fact, as we are full spoiler, Sir Adam Marbrand will be the man who replaces Jacelyn Bywater as the Lord Commander of the City Watch in King's Landing when Tywin comes to town.
Yeah.
And so pay attention to him. He also ends up becoming friends with, I believe, isn't he the one with Jaime he first initially trains with Jaime before Jaime trades with Ilan Payne?
Couldn't tell you.
And then he's traveling through the Riverlands with Jaime, initially going to take River Run back there at the end of Dan's Feast.
Couldn't tell you.
But that's Sir Adam Marbrand.
Cool.
So he's a badass.
Some of the castle women sobbed to see him go. Weese even said he was a great horseman and fighter, and Tywin's most daring commander. Arya just hopes he dies, and all those with him.
He does not.
Fuck that guy.
He lives for quite some time.
Because she knew that they were going to fight Robb, and this is where we get that as part of her cleaning duties under Weese, she has heard some more rumors about Robb, about some great victory. Now, a lot of it's bullshit that he sacked King's Landing and burned it to the ground, or Lannisport. And
once again, we're opening a chapter, and within the first few paragraphs, getting this misinformation on what's happening. First, we heard it with Renly, then we also heard it with Robb at Oxcross, and what was happening. We've been hearing rumors from the men. We'll hear more rumors from the men.
Yeah, there's more rumors
yet
to come.
So yeah, it's so cool to see it.
But she's not sure what, but she knew something happened. Robb won some victory somewhere. That's pretty clear.
In the West, it seems.
And Weese had her running messages from dusk till dawn of late, and some of them had even taken her beyond the castle walls out into Tywin's camp.
Which she's obviously considered running.
Tempted to flee,
Deuce, bitches.
Hop on a cart and just chill out until she could either jump off or just walk with some war followers.
But the idea that Weese may catch her completely puts her off of that idea.
Yeah. He laid it out for him what he would do. He would give them to the Cohoric Vargo Hote, who would also known as the Crippler.
Crippler, rather.
And he would cut off your feet, which, that's pretty savage.
Try to run away.
For.
Don't get run away. You get caught running away, then you lose your feet. You get caught stealing, you lose your hand. If you're Jaime Lannister, then...
If Weese were dead... But...
She never thought that around him, because he says that he can smell what they're thinking.
Yeah.
And
Little rat fuck.
I think it's interesting that she believes that of him.
We believe it of Tywin. That he can smell the haunted forest.
That's true.
Weese isn't the only character that uses his nose and seems to... Because, there is a point later, after Arya has named Weese, where he looks at her and frowns. And she's like, oh, fuck, he's going to smell this treachery. And she's worried and doesn't look at him all night. Why does he look at her and frown? Besides him just being an overall cunt.
Right.
Is there a reason behind that? Yeah. Can he smell this deceit? But he didn't know that she could read, so the messages had never been sealed, though they never said anything of fucking interest anyway.
Usually just orders and deliveries that needed to be made and errands that needed to be run by certain people, and so...
Although she killed it with one, because one was to resolve a gambling debt. And when she gave it to the knight, he couldn't read, so she read it to him, and he got pissed off at Weese saying, you owe me money. So he took a swing at Arya. Arya dodged and just snatched a silver-banded drinking horn off of his fucking saddle and deuced. Bye.
Fine, fuck you then.
And in all his mail, even roaring after her, he had no chance at keeping up with her.
She's
darting and
diving and dodging.
And Weese actually said that he would reward her for being a smart little weasel with some fresh, crisped capon.
Big sausage.
At dinner.
Or bird, wing.
And so always while she was delivering messages or cleaning, she was keeping an eye out for Jaqen Haghar, wanting to give him another name before all
she
those
wanted to give both those names.
Before all those she hated were out of her hands. And
she even worked up the courage to ask a guard if he knew where this guy could be found. And he tells her, he's one of Amory Lorch's men, then he's staying behind anyway. They're not going. They're, because he assigned Amory Lorch, Tywin did, Castellan of Harrenhal. And so he'll be staying here holding it for Tywin until his return, as well as the Bloody Mummers.
LOL.
Bloody Mummers.
Well, I mean, they're not that scary.
No, they're not.
They're just weird. But funny part is that Vargo and Lorch have always hated each other, so that should be an interesting little combination. The Mountain.
That was cool.
That was weird.
Super sweet.
The Mountain would leave with Tywin, though, and he would be commanding the van in battle, which meant that Dunsen, Polliver, and Raff would all slip through her fingers unless she found Jaqen, which I really like that description, slip through her fingers.
Yeah,
she's already this...
And then it's funny that she's saying that and still manages to let them slip through
kicks
her
herself
fingers.
later for being like, Tywin, duh. But Weese
had an order to send her to go to the armory.
Yeah.
So that she could pick up a new sword for Sir Lionel, who had dented his during practice. And
quickly, because he rides out with Sir Kevin Lannister, so don't be long.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Move it.
And she grabs the paper and runs and enters the armory, which is extremely busy. She
spicy.
Immediately spots sultry, sweaty, bare-chested Gendry.
Love that bare-chested Baratheon boy.
She thinks she's unsure that she even wants to talk to him, as it was his fault that they got captured in the first place. But she does. She pulls out the message, and she's like, where's Lucan? I need a sword for Sir Lionel. And he's like, yo, fuck your sword. Hot Pie last night asked me if I heard you shouting Winterfell back at the fucking Holdfast when we were fighting. And she's immediately like, I didn't.
No.
And he's like, you did.
You fucking did.
And she's like, well, everyone was shouting shit. He was screaming Hot Pie. And he's like, yeah, but it matters what you were saying. And he's like, I managed to convince him you were saying go to hell. And she's like, that's stupid.
That's stupid.
And he's like, but you need to tell him that too and collaborate the lie, because he's aware that you were shouting stupid shit. And so she wonders if she should just give Hot Pie's name to Jaqen Haghar.
Savage as fuck.
Immediate, self-preservation mode kicks in.
Before we get too far away from it, and I've never said this about anything or anyone before, I probably have, probably even on past episodes, but I ship these two fuckers. Arya and Gendry so much. I feel like when she walked in there, it started occurring to me that, she doesn't just look up to him as a brother. She does have she has a thing for him. I want these two, I ship them. And
well, she straight up says she doesn't want to talk to him, but then she runs right up and talks to him.
No, you son of a bitch.
No,
and then, he attacks
even
her.
earlier stuff,
and the bickering,
I definitely think she sees him in
I need that to be a thing.
A different elder brotherly light. But he tells her that he'll get Lucan, and Lucan reads the letter, and even though Arya doesn't think he can actually read, he gives her the sword.
Bitching, and he gives a complaint, and it's not a threat, it's a complaint, an insult to Weese, saying that this is more than he's worth, and I don't know if he was he saying that about Weese or about Sir Lionel? That's what I thought.
Yeah, the sword is more than what Lionel's worth. Fuck Lionel. But Arya's like, yeah, I ain't saying that, because fuck you.
I'll catch a whooping.
But she does like the feel of the sword in her hand. It does make her feel strong again.
So I thought that was interesting, because it's a long sword.
Yeah, it's a big sword.
This is like fucking, wow. What the fuck is Jon's sword's name? Longclaw, thank you. I was thinking Beartooth for some reason, but I guess it's just because the Mormons. Wow. That's what kind of sword she's wielding, though. Is at least a long...
I don't think it's so much she's like, yeah, I could confidently wield this. I think it's like, I have the power to kill someone in my hand right here.
No, I feel like she is kind of wielding it to an extent.
I think she could start to practice with it and get good, but I think her style of water dancing with needle
absolutely.
wouldn't allow
suits her body type way more.
But I definitely think if push came to shove, Arya could wield the longsword enough to save her life quickly and then move on.
Surprise kill, throw it down, leave it in their stomach type shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But she thinks that wolf. Robb Stark has been called a wolf. She's been compared to a mouse, but a mouse can't use a sword. I can. And she thinks, as she's walking the sword back, she notes the gates are open, wide open, because people are coming and going, people are leaving.
Yeah, and she's like, what's stopping me from taking this mark to the stable boys and being like, hey, I need a horse for Sir Lionel.
They can't read.
They wouldn't know any better.
He can't even
And then she could just hop up on that horse with a big old sword on her back. And then if anybody did catch her, she could just, I'm delivering this stuff to Sir Lionel. Who the fuck else is to know, man? Like... I think she was being, granted, probably for good reason, overly paranoid.
I think she would have had
in the hustle and bustle. I think she could have gotten out of there, no problem.
Yeah, I agree. I think she could have too. But Weese, she's got this fear of Weese in her, and as she's sort of pausing, having this dilemma, some guards walk by, and they're clearly fucking just some nobodies.
Yeah, just some guys.
They're discussing Robb and the events that have happened. More rumors of Robb supposedly having giants fighting with him.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
I feel like that's the fucking Karstarks, man. Like, they're just, compared to Robb.
That's what I was thinking.
Rob's a boy, and he's got of all the Northerners, he's got these big, burly motherfuckers. They look like giants compared to Robb.
Yeah.
And so, I think that's all it really is, but it's interesting.
Yeah, the next is how savage Robb is, how he's more wolf than boy, or wolf than man, and how all the Starks are, which
they're all part
obviously
wolf.
Is part of the Grey Wind, the Sansa Stark, that the story she heard where all the wolves came in and savage. And then the last one is somebody actually kind of questioning and mocking Robb for running from Harrenhal. But he didn't come here, did he? No, he ran. And somebody else says, maybe the boy knows something we don't. Maybe it's us that ought to be running.
Yeah.
Is there does Robb know of something that he's fleeing? Is this just a misread? Is this guy onto something?
I really see, and I think this really comes down to...
Or is it just so Arya can give the sweet line of like, yeah, you should run, motherfucker.
I mean, all of that I'm sure with Martin, but it really, I suppose, depends on how well you think Robb would have done had he not gotten married right now.
Well, mainly
because he's meeting his wife here, I believe, at the bat. Like in this time is where that's all.
This is when I think he gets injured,
right? Because his mom isn't there.
Yeah. Mommy wasn't there
to stop him from doing that
take
shit.
Me to the fair.
Change my underwear.
Mainly, so it was a snatch and grab, like a get in, fucking sack this place and get the fuck out.
Well, because he knew.
So it wasn't fleeing; it was a small band.
So yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is
striking.
This isn't them fleeing at all. It's not necessarily him knowing more or knowing something. They found the goat trails that led them to be able to split the forces. Because we know Roose Bolton is holding the main forces, so that's why they were caught unaware. Robb and the rest of the men went and attacked Oxford Cross.
Yeah.
And so they knew that Tywin was having forces gathered there and armies prepared that were not ready to march. And so Robb knew tactically they could fucking wipe them out, not a problem. And so had he not gotten injured here, not fallen in love, and gotten his married thing going on, then he wouldn't have betrayed Walder Frey, the Red Wedding wouldn't have happened. So therefore, you can say that this would have won him the war if he didn't go and fuck it all up with the marriage stuff.
Yeah.
But it depends on what you think Tywin may have done in response instead.
But overhearing this, Arya thinks, yes, it is you who should run. You and Tywin and the Mountain and Sir Adam and Sir Amory. All of you had better run or my brother will kill you. He's a Stark. More wolf than man, and so am I.
And so am I.
And so am I.
Fuck yeah, Arya.
Motherfucker.
Hell yeah.
And so before we get a sudden rat invasion of Weese appearing, we are going to convene our small council, let you guys know what's going on with us, and then we will come back for the conclusion of the Arya chapter. So,
see you on the other side. And we're sliding into your little ear holes.
Slippy slide.
Oh, you slippy slid. Yeah. That's weird.
Made it all
Welcome
boys.
To the small council, where we like to let you know how to get in touch with us. You probably don't want to now that you've heard that.
Well, I mean, 6 feet. Don't touch me.
Don't touch us.
We can do the foot bump. Have you seen those?
Nope.
It's only when you have sneakers on, though. Where you instead of like a handshake, you just bump your sneakers.
Yeah, that's because I'm still going to work during the day, and even though I don't, I have that urge to reach out and shake all the people's hands that I'm supposed to.
Yeah, you love just reaching out and grabbing people.
Reaching out and
grab them out of pussy.
Reach out and touch. Oh, my God.
Anyway, God bless America.
If you would like to write to us,
you can do so in a lot of ways. We just were extremely active, and Nate usually is anyway, on Twitter with the March Madness that just
they just wrapped up the Song of Madness hosted. We've mentioned a couple episodes. We're going to do it again because it's the last chance for another year.
Yeah.
That At Davos Fingers hosts the big March Madness brackets for the Song of Ice and Fire characters. Book stuff. Granted, a lot of people vote based on TV-related things, but it's a lot of fun.
You can reach out to us on Twitter.
Yeah, where I'm active at Manners Without.
Yeah.
And you're active there sometimes at Carstark92.
Yeah.
And so if you don't have a Twitter, don't want to use Twitter, whatever, you can email us, withoutmannersbrotherhood@gmail.com. We're very active there as well, should you send anything through.
Well,
we
not
try
really
to
active.
It's a fucking email. We actively check it so that we can respond and record in a good time. Good, timely fashion.
We also have a Patreon.
What is that Patreon?
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't think so. It's patreon.com/withoutmanners.
There you go.
We also have our Facebook group.
Facebook.
Zach's actually more active there than I am. Facebook.com/Brotherhood Podcast.
Brotherhood
And
Podcast.
then we have, if you are on the Patreon, you get access to the private Facebook group. You also get the bonus Winds of Winter sample chapters. And lastly, we'll mention it again because they're still doing the donations on Podchaser. For any review there, they donate 25 cents. We will also reply as soon as possible because they double it for if we reply to your reviews. So, yay, more contact.
Yeah, so give us rates and reviews there because it helps us out and helps
people in need, man, during this fucking quarantine shit. Hopefully things start getting better. You're staying healthy. You're practicing safe practices.
Even if you aren't, you fucking are now.
You better. Or else you can't listen to us. Go wash your hands.
Stop the episode.
Don't push pause because then you'll contaminate
your phone.
Yeah. So
well, it's already fucking.
Yeah, you're already contaminated.
You should have washed your hands earlier.
Jeez Louise.
Slobs.
Anyway, get back to Arya 8.
A wild Ratata has appeared.
That was so good. I'm so glad that's when you started with this.
Weese appears suddenly, telling her that she took too long, and he gives her a fucking backhand as he takes the sword.
Bam!
And blood fills her mouth as she bit her tongue when that happens, and as the blood fills her mouth, she thinks she was a wolf, but he took that away.
Yeah, so I wrote that quote.
Yeah, go for it.
For a moment, she had been a wolf again. But Weese's slap took that all away and left her with nothing but the taste of her own blood in her mouth.
And she hated him for that.
She hated him for that. Yo, that was the death of you, you stupid fuck. Mm-hmm. That just got your dumb ass killed. You stupid.
Oh well, that's the start of it because there's worse ones.
Oh well,
there's a worse one coming up.
Definitely, but this is the one that had her hunting Jaqen down to specifically give her Weese. No, that's it. Weese, you're fucking done. You motherfucker.
So he sends her to the brew house and tells her that he needs men to come get some barrels that he has who they need to get traded over there. And he tells her to fucking hurry or he'll beat her bloody.
Yeah, so right after she got smacked, he also told her that she's gonna get fucking smacked again if she doesn't cut out the insolent looks. I love Arya so much because she gets backhanded and just has that look of pure venom at him. Whereas he's like, you don't stop fucking mad dogging me like that, I'm gonna fucking hit you again. Like,
I can feel your look. But yeah, so he tells her to go quick or he'll beat her bloody, and she thinks you won't ever again.
Never again.
But as she hurries along, she thinks that the old gods must have been with her. Because she runs into Rorge. And now that's an odd thing to say when one would be running into Rorge. But Rorge happens to provide for her the information that she needs.
Yeah,
but it's just an interesting encounter to start by saying the old gods must have been.
See, and I wasn't sure. Yeah, because that was so. It seemed like she was angrily wandering. And then that's what she was applying. The old gods must have led her footsteps.
Oh, I thought she was going. I think she was going to the brew house. I think she was going that way.
Well, I
and
think
then
so
ran
too, but I
into
think it was like an
Rorge.
absent-minded, like she wasn't heading straight
Yeah, she was
there.
looking for Jaqen.
And just happened to cross and was like, oh. And at first she's kind of intimidated by him until she's like, wait a minute, like.
Well, yeah, because he immediately is like, oh, I promised to fuck you, bloody. Where's your stick?
Yeah,
and she's like, yo, I got a message for Jaqen. Where is he? And at the sound of Jaqen, Rorge halted, and Arya sees what might be fear in Rorge's eyes. Fear of Jaqen Haghar.
What did Jaqen do that made Rorge
Maybe they
put
saw
that fear
him
in
switch
respect?
his face.
You think so? But do you actually, like, is that just something you're throwing out there, or do you think?
Because there's a ton of theories about why he was in the back of the cart, why he was in King's Landing, and I don't know. Yeah, maybe they ended up seeing him switch his face there in the back of the cart, or
Because my thought was more that at this point, they've been out, they've done some work with Lorch and shit. Maybe he's seen him fighting and just seen this motherfucker going savage on some people in battle.
yeah, but there's I don't know. You're surrounded by savage people.
Yeah, and
like,
that just doesn't seem like
people
enough
who,
to put that kind of a fear.
A skilled swordsman doesn't seem
Yeah.
to be able to intimidate Rorge. So yeah, I wondered what that was.
Yeah, I was really
too.
curious about, like, and because it's so noticeable.
Mhm.
Like, granted, Arya's incredibly perceptive, but like,
Well, he immediately tells her, the bathhouse, get out of my way.
and then
Like, and
stalks off.
he's
You're
done.
with him
Yeah.
somehow, dude. Mm-mm.
And so yeah, it's super interesting. But Arya turns and runs, and she ran all the way to the bathhouse, and she finds Jaqen soaking in a tub, and she tries to creep up
With
but
a handmaid.
quiet as a shadow. But he opened his eyes all the same and says, "She steals in on little mice feet, but a man hears." And she thinks, how
the
did he hear?
fuck did he hear?
And like he can read her thoughts, he says, "The scuff of leather on stone sings loud as war horns to a man who listens. Clever girls go barefoot." And Arya immediately is like, shit, I don't know if I should be saying shit in front of the serving girl, because
Yeah.
the serving girl is like pouring water over his sick hair. And so Arya walks over and leans in.
She says she has a message for him.
For him, yeah, and leans in super, super close and whispers, "Weese."
Weese.
And Jaqen closed his eyes, floating, languid, half asleep. He says, "Tell his lordship a man shall attend him at his leisure." And then he splashes water at her, and she has to leap back, and then she leaves.
Which is basically, I believe, his dismissal.
Yeah.
Just
Get out
splash,
before you
go,
say
you
anything
know.
stupider.
Yeah.
Like,
Now time to leave.
Yeah.
Bye, girl.
yeah, we've made this as like all that it needs to be. You're just a messenger. Get out. And so, yeah, she leaves, and Truffleberry, who he was supposed to be meeting at the
Yes.
brew house, fucking flips out on Weese and how
Because
stupid Weese is. And
The way he
his
worded
men-
the letter, saying you need to provide your own men to bring the wine, the barrels of whatever ale that he had ordered, down to Weese, and that's that.
Or he'll tell I'll tell Tywin.
Well, yeah, Tuffleberry said he would tell
Yeah.
Tywin he was like, no, Weese can send fucking people. I'm busy too. And if he wants to deal with Tywin, then that's how we'll deal
And
with
so
this.
she returns the message, and Weese does the same. She obviously keeps out the insults that Truffleberry had said about Weese, but Weese bitches, but eventually relents and sends some men down to pick up.
Because Weese is a little bitch here in
Yeah.
the Harrenhal. He's nothing. He is absolutely nothing. So to have Tywin called down on him, he'll be fucking killed.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
So we cut to dinner, and at dinner, it was just nothing but some beef stew.
Just a runny stew
Yeah.
is basically it.
But Weese is enjoying that nice capon.
The big old portion of
And
it. And then
Weasel's
some.
reward was completely forgotten.
Yeah.
That he promised her earlier for getting that silver banded drinking horn.
But he was sharing a big old chunk of blue cheese with the woman who's been sharing his bed, is what she says. Yeah, like that poor serving girl.
And it's almost gone when Weese looks up from his trencher and noticed Weasel staring at him, and he calls her over. And thinking that he is now remembering the promised reward, Arya goes over and he grabs her by the throat and then smacks her once with the back and again and again. And then fucking throws her back where she catches the hem of her dress on a nail and falls.
It just rips and he says, "You'll fix that
Yeah.
before you go to sleep tonight."
His reasoning is, what if I told you keep your eyes to yourself or I'll scoop them out and feed them to my dogs. So, because she was looking at him insolently.
Yep.
So, yeah. That right there is where I'm like, all right, yeah, he... I bristled at this. It's just so savage.
Yeah.
You just grab this little girl by the throat and fucking, like,
then
fucking
throw her to the
A,
ground
man.
and, like, yeah, it's vile. But, yeah, because that's, she was almost feeling, like, remorseful that she had, on her way, up there. Oh, he's going to offer what's left because he forgot. But the fact that he's calling me up, that's a
Maybe
that's
I
a
shouldn't
turn.
have given him Jaqen his name.
And then for that, it's like, fuck, I wish I gave him his name fucking days ago.
Yeah.
I don't think that she made a poor decision here.
Oh, no, I don't either.
You do need to take steps to make sure that you can escape. She might not have been able to escape if Weese is
dinner is over, and she's speaking her list as she's sewing, which I love this.
Every single
Arya
needle.
is sewing.
Yeah.
For one, she's
pissed
mending.
off while sewing.
Yeah, every time she pushed the bone needle through, which I just think is a fucking excellent detail, she said another name. And she's wondering how long she'll have to keep saying Weese and adding Weese to her list, hoping that when she wakes up, he'll be gone. But
when she does wake, it's to Weese kicking her in the fucking stomach awake.
Yeah. And at breakfast, he's telling them all that the main strength of Tywin's host is leaving today, but don't expect shit to get any easier. The castle still needs to be maintained, and it's still fucking huge, and now there's less hands to do it. And I will beat you bloody should you not keep up your work. And then this is where Arya's looking at him, and he frowns at her and
she immediately puts her head down.
Yeah, she's like, fuck, and she doesn't look at him again.
Which I think is good in the fact that that's what he's expecting right now.
Yeah,
like,
obedience,
You need to look straight down and not give him any reason to say or do anything.
And I just like the way Martin cuts it through this Arya chapter.
So before we do go to that next cut, I think that this place is significantly more dangerous without Tywin.
Without Tywin. Yeah, there's no order now.
Yeah, it's a scary thought that Arya's going to be here without... And, I mean, it's weird to think that Tywin is this... The person that,
maintains order.
To maintain the order with the chaos that he causes.
Especially with Amory Lorch and Vargo Hoat not liking each other. It's going to be this competition between their men. And
without Tywin there, they cut fucking Jaime's hand off.
Yeah.
They're out of control. And so that's what Arya's in for. Jesus
But
Christ.
Arya watched Lord Tywin leave from a window halfway up the Wailing Tower, which I just love that image of her just
it's
in this window.
Almost the image of Jaqen Haghar.
Yeah,
here
with
at the
fingers
end.
on his face, yeah.
And so she sees him looking fucking splendid.
Hell
in his
yeah.
badass. Did you write down how his arm?
No.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing looking.
Same
his
with
Lannister colors and
Sir Kevin.
And they've got 4 flag bearers, standard bearers.
As I walk
and,
through the valley of the shadow of death, their rap album.
Yeah, killing it.
Fuck yeah.
And bringing up the rear is the Mountain.
Yep.
Big ol' motherfucker, as well as Polliver. Wearing Gendry's bull helm.
Fucker.
God, I want to put an arrow through his eye myself. Dude.
Yo.
Your phone is aggressively vibrating.
I know it is.
What setting is that?
I don't know. Aggressive?
I guess so. Sorry for the interruption, people, because Zach's phone is vibrating like a monster.
My phone is angry that Polliver has Gendry's horn.
Okay. So that makes sense, I guess.
A shiver goes up her spine as she watches him watch under the portcullis. She thinks she's so stupid. Chiswick, Weese, these were not the names she should be giving. The names she should have given are the ones who are fucking walking out.
Those are the ones.
Tywin Lannister, Kevin Lannister, the Mountain. Those are the people that have fucking caused her pain and would bring an end to
the war. She could
have
not
Weese, not Chiswick.
Ended the war.
So she's immediately like, fuck. If there's still time, I can get to Jaqen, unname Weese, and name Tywin or something. So she bolts and fucking almost takes a header going down the stairs of this tower. And she can, as she exits, she hears the portcullis closing and actually sinking into the gates, which I just thought how descriptive Martin got with that of the portcullis sinking into the mud is just that finality of she's locked in
door,
here.
Yeah.
And then she hears
hard pause. If she did not say Chiswick and did not say Weese. And she said Tywin Lannister. Could you fucking imagine?
Well, like, no. You can't do that.
Oh my God, that's so... But just the thought of that playing out, her fucking telling Jaqen and him going just...
Yeah.
Fuck.
But that's not Arya.
I know.
Arya is impulsive. She is reactionary. Both her names were
crazy.
Based on
Oberyn
Chiswick. She heard... What?
Oberyn Martell might be alive.
I mean...
If she wasn't so impulsive.
He might not, though. Like,
I mean, there's no mountain to punch his eyeballs out.
But there's a million other people, too.
All right. I mean... No,
it's a what-if scenario.
The death is death, and that's the names that are being traded already, so... That would make sense that Oberyn would die in that.
It's not.
No, yeah.
I don't like that argument that Arya is dumb here because
I don't think she's dumb at all.
It's Arya. She's impulsive. We know this about her. She's not the thinker, the planner. She's the doer. She's the first person to pick up a sword and say "fuck you," I'm gonna stab you. Like, so Chiswick was reactionary to hearing his story.
Well, yeah, we'll also see it.
And Weese is reactionary
throughout her entire character arc.
And so
she does it in Bravos. She kills fucking Meryn Trant, and she
the brother of the Night's Watch.
Yeah,
Darren? No. Fuck, I can't remember his name, but the one with Sam.
Yeah.
But she then hears a shriek of pain and fear. And she sees a dozen people that are around whatever happened before she got there, but none too close. And she squirms between them and sees Weese sprawled across the cobblestones.
With his dog eating his fucking throat.
His throat was a red ruin. His eyes were gazing sightlessly up. And yeah, his dog was on his chest, lapping up the blood from his throat, which pulsed, and every so often ripping some flesh from the dead man's face. It was the dog that killed him?
It appears that way. That's how it appears. Because then the people around are saying, man, he's had that dog since a pup. She loved him, we thought. She was such a, like... And so, to me, it seems like Jaqen killed him and somehow got the dog to immediately start eating him.
Just ripped apart his throat?
Yeah, just to start chewing up something. Because at first I thought that his throat was slit. And that the dog just happens to be lapping at the blood and ripping off chunks of the face.
Yeah, no, Martin is very particular in describing a slit throat, though.
Right, and that's why...
a red ruin is similar to Summer's attack on the assassin with Cat. I went back and looked.
It's more savage.
Like, yeah, his face was like a red ruin.
My only thought is Jaqen somehow... He killed him. And then somehow got the dog interested in eating the corpse.
Is there fucking magic to that?
Dude, you're freaking me out.
Like, what the fuck? Like,
I don't think so.
How do you get his dog to just suddenly... Like, I understand that animals will do that.
We'll get the right smell of something.
But it's usually in a confined space for, like, a couple
of weeks. Well, and that's
weeks.
it. Like, I don't think the dog killed him. I think Jaqen killed him, and then Jaqen put something on his skin that made the dog attracted to it that smelled delicious or something. Like he marinated him last night.
Weird.
That's why he waited.
Like it's crazy that Jaqen has the dog set there. Like,
but that's what was so. That's it. Like, is it the dog? Did the dog actually do the killing? Did he get the dog to do the killing? Did he kill him and lead the dog to the court? Like, what the fuck did Jaqen Haghar do
What
here?
did you do?
What the fuck is happening?
Anyway, yeah, the people in the crowd say, as you said, that he had the bitch dog since it was a pup. Another one says that it's cursed. Another one claims they're not spending another fucking night here in Harrenhal.
This place is haunted. I'm fucking done.
I'm out.
I am pacing.
It's
later.
Like the ghost hunter. Bro, did you hear that, bro?
Did you hear that, bro?
Bro.
Did you hear that?
Watch me, bro. Anyway, Arya looks up from the dead man and the dog and sees that Jaqen Haghar is leaning against the side of the wailing tower, and seeing her looking, he lifted a hand to his face and casually laid 2 fingers against his cheek. Bam!
I fucking love that guy.
I love Jaqen. He's so cool. He's like Fonzieing it, except his like elbow the jukebox is the fingers on the cheek.
Yeah, just 2
I mean, like, or he just walks up to people and elbow them, and then their throat's a red ruin, and there's a dog that they've loved their whole life on their chest eating them.
Do you think he waggles his fingers?
I don't know what he does. Clearly by my exclamations throughout the last 15 minutes of this episode.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking wild. I don't know what
happens. It's
there.
such a weird circumstance. But
you have an inductee?
I didn't, but I do now. it's Jaqen Haghar of his weird dog magic.
Because he's fucking Jaqen Haghar.
Because it's weird dog magic. Like, what the fuck? He's got faceless man abilities. We know that entails poisoning based on what we've seen from Arya's training. We know that entails switching your fucking identity. We know that entails some mummers training and basic disguise. And apparently it involves some hoodoo, voodoo, dog magic. So, Jaqen Haghar for revealing that new facet of the faceless men, the hoodoo, voodoo, dog magic.
Okay, so I don't think that there's hoodoo, voodoo, dog magic.
There absolutely is. It's
However,
irrefutable.
I will at least pretend to agree with it so that I can also use the words hoodoo, voodoo, dog magic. I have a different inductee, though. I was going to give mine to Gendry because he is...
Oh, fuck Gendry.
Whoa.
I mean, I'm never mind.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, okay.
So, not because of how great he looks when he's
Steamy,
shirtless and sweaty in the forest.
Right, I get you.
But because of how much he's still looking out for Arya.
Yeah.
Like, clearly him and Hot Pie are still running into each other every now and then. And of all the things for Hot Pie to be bringing up, like, that's... Dude, shut the fuck up, Hot Pie.
My thought was like, what was Gendry going to do with that information if Arya didn't just come stumbling in, though? Like,
right.
It was almost like he was waiting for her
to...
Yeah. It was odd, in a way.
I think that's just kind of the author in, like, when the next time
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
see him.
say it's crazy to think that Gendry would expect Arya to come sneaking in to see him at some point.
Absolutely, that makes sense, too. And so, yeah, that he was, hey, just so you know, this is what I told Hot Pie. Make sure our stories are corroborated. Yeah. You know, and he's making sure
he
it all
got super
lines
dramatic
up.
about it. He's like, yo, fuck the sword.
No, fuck the sword,
you know
come
what
here.
Hot Pie's saying?
Did you hear? Did you hear, though?
Yeah, no, Gendry's good. I love
Sweet.
Gendry.
So, we also did get an inductee from our favorite French fry, Julian. Maybe, I guess.
Julian the Hooligan.
He's our French fry. You can't give him more nicknames.
I'll do what I want. Julian says, hi, Zach and Nate. I was named first there.
Finally.
Arya gives a second name, and the wrong one. Out of impulse more than thinking, and that's a lesson learned for her, in my opinion. I absolutely agree. It's not the right choice, naming Weese, or even Chiswick. There's much better options, but she's impulsive, and so the wrong one... Depends on your point of view. The wrong one to end the war, certainly.
The right name is no name.
But it does, as Nate said, help her escape and help her chances. You know, Weese was lording over her. He was her commander, essentially. He was giving her orders. She had to check in with him, so she does have a little more freedom. But Tywin Lannister marches to where, I wonder, because I can't really remember how armies did evolve in the TV show.
Real quick for that, and we're full of spoilers, so deal with it. He is heading to confront, I believe, Roose Bolton and assist with tackling Robb's army that just took over Oxcross until he hears about Stannis making his way to King's Landing. And so he will be going towards Roose, but then stopping to head straight down to King's Landing to save the day.
Yeah. Julian says, my inductee is going to be Jaqen. I like the casual attitude when spotted by Arya after he just killed Weese. Cool shit. What?
No mention of voodoo, hoodoo, dog magic, Julian?
No, that's
Come
okay.
on.
He can induct him for different reasons. Being a badass leaning on the tower, it was fucking sweet. The hoodoo, voodoo, dog magic is the scary stuff that I don't like about Jaqen.
Okay.
And then he says, Valar to Harris, literally accurate. Thank you, Julian, for writing in. Obviously, we shared the same inductee, which makes us better than Nate, and so we appreciate you writing in.
Thanks, Julian.
Next, we are going to be reading Catelyn 5, I believe.
Oh, I only wrote Catelyn because I didn't check.
I have the number written.
Yeah, I have it on my last chapter.
Catelyn 5.
It's Catelyn 5.
A Clash of Kings. So send us your inductees for that. We're going to be talking to Mama Stark. Mama Stark, do-do-do-do-do-do. Mama Stark, do-do-do-do-do-do. Valador Harris.
Peace.